This is the North End. This is the North End.
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the North End. My name's Aizaz, and I'm here for the good, the bad, and the ugly from Chelsea 1, Liverpool 1, the Liverpool version. However, before I start, I just want to say, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps us with engagement and just getting a bit more out there. We want to do more videos, more content, and all of this helps. And lastly, if you disagree with anything I say as well, please comment below. I would love to get into a conversation about some of the things you disagree about. Football's a game of opinions. This is just one person's opinion on how I felt yesterday went. So let's get right into it. So number one, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to start by saying, for the first time in a long time, I have multiple things to say about each of these, but I'm going to try and limit it to the best one. Before I do get started on that, though, what a game. What a game. Brilliant advert for the Premier League. Two teams going at it, playing attacking football, even though at different times both teams were penned back because of the quality of the other team. Both teams are work in progress, no question about that. But you know what? Yesterday's game was exactly why we love the Premier League. End-to-end action, an aggressive attacking play from two great managers. So I'm here for it. Here's to a lot more of that coming in the new season. So let's start with the good. From a Liverpool perspective, where I want to start with the good is I like the new rebuild so far. Is it complete? Absolutely not. It's very well documented. We need a number six. And, you know, all of the drama around the number six, the new incoming number six. Is it Caicedo? Is it Lavia? Chelsea won them both. Liverpool won them both. Chelsea are getting them both. I'm not into that. I'm too old for that. I don't really care for that. But Liverpool need a number six. But back onto the game, McAllister, Szoboszlai, the new attack, even if it is players that we've had before, brilliant. You know, I think that Liverpool are going to be a really big attacking threat. It does go, you know, there's a lot of hoopla in the reaction to yesterday's game, and yet we got a 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge. Now, in the last couple of years, it was 0-0 generally between these two teams. And even the year we were chasing the quadruple, which would be 2021, 2022, we played Chelsea 4 times, and 4 times we couldn't beat them. Now, was that a better Chelsea? Probably. Was that a better Liverpool? Yeah. However, it just shows that, like, at the end of the day, how your league season is going to go is not dependent on what you do at Stamford Bridge. So 1-1 draw is fine. Like, is it the best result in the world? Absolutely not. I thought in the first 20 minutes, what Liverpool showed, firstly at Anfield, and secondly, just in general, even away from home, we're going to be deadly. We're going to be lethal. And, you know, if we are able to get the number six, which is still an if at the moment, and we actually get McAllister a little bit more forward and able to do his things, that's brilliant. Szoboszlai, he had one brilliant run. I really wanted him to hit it at the end and actually try and make a hero out of himself, even though the pass was probably the better option for the team. But overall, I think the way this rebuild functioned yesterday, I'm really excited. It was game one, competitive game one without a number six. I thought some of the chances we made were outstanding. There was also like a great hit from outside the box from Van Dijk. Darwin's that gets deflected, looks like it's going in. Stonewall penalty for me as well, not given, but again, I'm not really going to lean into that being the reason we didn't win. And then obviously they had a disallowed an overturned goal for offside, but so did we. And if ours goes in and it's 2-0, then you're probably comfortable to some extent. Yeah, so I think if I'm kicking off with the good, I expected it coming into the season, so it might just be a bit of confirmation bias from my side. But I thought we looked really, really good going forward, and I'm very, very excited for how that's going to go. The bad. So in my opinion, where I saw a lot of weakness from us yesterday was obviously the number six. That's not what I'm going to talk about. What was going on our left-hand side, so Chelsea's right-hand side? Now, we know Reece James is a great, great fullback. I'm not Raheem Sterling's biggest fan, but he's still somewhat dangerous. And constantly, Andy Robertson was being overrun. I don't think he had a great game himself, but in terms of support, I don't think he really got too much in terms of support as well. I get that part of it was this attack-minded formation we put out, where we had Cody Gakpo as part of the midfield. He's a forward playing in midfield. So with a number 6, McAllister, Szoboszlai, I think that Andy Robertson gets a bit more protection and he'll have better games himself. But I was really, really, really petrified by Liverpool's performance on our left-hand side, the opponent's right-hand side. I think it was too easy to get in. I think if you had someone in the box who wasn't making their debut, I was impressed by Jackson at leading the line. But if I had seen, a vintage Didier Drogba in the box, even, some of the other Chelsea forwards that have made a big name for themselves, that was actually quite a terrifying display from our left-hand side. It was so easy to get down there. It's Virgil van Dijk's side as well, so I'm not really too keen on his performance. I've heard mixed reviews as well from his first game as the full captain. I personally was like, take it or leave it. I didn't think he was particularly good. He did some things good. He's always the alpha in the box. I understand that, but a lot of the stuff did come down his side as well. And I understand that Robbo and Van Dijk were a little bit overrun, but yeah, I'm not really impressed with how that went. And finally, the ugly. Not going to talk about that penalty decision because I'm going to try to leave that off the ugly this year. I'd have to give the ugly to Mo Salah's reaction at coming off. I have to say, I was quite disappointed with how that went. I feel like Liverpool are definitely a team in transition. It could click really quickly. You go back to 2017, 2018, and it clicked really, really quickly. Early October, we get our proverbial backside handed to us at Wembley against Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham were playing at Wembley at the time. I think it's 4-1. Giggsy Lovren has a terrible game and gets shipped off at halftime. And again, our fan base was in meltdown. A bunch of people who were probably acclaiming Klopp as a messiah a year later were asking for his head, believe it or not. It was so funny to see. However, it suddenly clicked really quickly after somewhat of a transitional start. And I can see that there are definitely shades of that happening right now as well. And with that in mind, we need our best players, our star players, and our leaders to actually act like team and club leaders and not petulant younger players looking for their individual records. And as Jurgen Klopp said, Mo Salah's got so many frigging records. Okay, fine, he doesn't have the most goals on the opening day of the season. And I don't even agree that the substitution worked. I think Ben Doak's going to be an amazing striker as an impact player for Liverpool. I didn't have him as my breakout star for the North End's predictions because I think that Garnacho for Manchester United is going to play a bigger role moving forward than Ben Doak. But Ben Doak was probably my number 2 in terms of breakout star. I think he's going to have a great season as an impact player. I think he's going to play a lot of Europa games, possibly the Cup games as well. And I think he's going to be a very, very good 6th choice. But yesterday it didn't work, I have to say. But regardless, Mo didn't know that going off. We didn't know that going off. And I just think that Mo Salah, you're better than that. You don't need to chuck your tape on the floor and have a huff. I also think it's nothing, to be honest with you. I think that there is a lot of passion in Mohamed Salah that drives him into being the player he is. And long term, I don't really think that that's going to be too big of a deal. But in terms of ugly, there was nothing uglier in my mind in terms of the Liverpool perspective. And that's all, folks. That's it. That's the first good, the bad, and the ugly. Let me know what you thought. Agree, disagree. Would love to hear your comments and thoughts. But otherwise, I'm very excited for our next game. It's a 3 p.m. UK, 10 a.m. here in Toronto game against Bournemouth. And I think the fact that it's at Anfield, the newly extended Anfield, is just going to mean that it's going to be quite the occasion. And I'm expecting a much better performance from Liverpool. Of course, we're not away against one of the other so-called Big Six. So as I said before, please subscribe. Please share the content. Comment below. Tell me I'm talking absolute bubbles. It's all good. And I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.
This is the North End. This is the North End.